picked up my new prints and I'm really excited about them. I ordered more 11 by 17 prints for the pop-up this weekend. First we have November's Patreon rewards. This is the print of the month and I'm so obsessed with it. This is the front. It's Luna. It's my dog Luna eating her bowl of soup, and then the back just has my logo. Oh, these are so cute, and these have like a very nice satin matte finish. Match with that are the bookmark, which I love. So the front looks like this, and then the back has Luna eating the soup, and these are all available on my Patreon until, did I say November? I meant December. These will be available all of December. And let's open these prints. For the pop-up this weekend, I got a couple new prints. I got a bunch and I did 50 of each print. When I did my market at Renegade, my 11 by 17 prints were my most popular item, so I wanted to make sure that when I do any future in-person events, I have a good stock of larger posters and prints. Restocks. We have the tiger print, the cat cafe print, of course, the fish. Love the 3 of these. 2 new ones. One is Luna Suit because I just love this so much, and then this was the November Patreon rewards and I thought this would look gorgeous as a bigger print. So those are the new prints. Really look out on Instagram for when the shop opens back up again. Yeah, let's see what's in those other boxes. This is an order from Clear Bags. I normally would not order these for my shop and like any online orders because I don't like to use this material for my shop. I do try to use like recycled materials whenever possible. But when it comes to in-person events, people are looking through the prints and like they need to be protected or else everyone's grubby fingers will be all over them. And the option that I would usually go for, it just doesn't look as clean, and then if it doesn't look clean, people won't buy it. So that, I guess, is my justification for these. So I got a bunch of these for the 11 by 17 prints. I got them for the 8 by 10 prints as well. Oh, we have chipboard. So we have like a little backing board for the prints, so they will go like so. Not very exciting. I did not mean to do that. Oh my god. Oopsies. I'm watching Rebecca Green's Patreon video. This woman is the most relaxing person ever and I'm so inspired by her art. So watching this, I have my matcha right here and it tasted very yummy today. I'll be checking all these big prints. I just want to look through them all, make sure there's like nothing wrong with them, and if they look good, I'm just going in and giving it a signature on the back. This is a pretty easy task, but there are like 300 prints, so it will take a while to go through all of them. I have a bunch of videos queued up for me to watch, and I'm just gonna use this time to just chill, catch up on some things I have been meaning to watch. Wanted to come on here and chat a little bit about how it's been being a full-time artist. I feel like I haven't really talk to you guys about it yet. Last day full-time was September 31st, and then right after that was Inktober, and a lot of stuff happened during Inktober. I've been using November and December as kind of like a rest period and like allowing myself to plan a little bit and have it all sink in that I'm a full-time artist and kind of like get my shit together, for lack of a better word. I was doing this art thing as I was working. I feel like I was doing and making a lot of decisions on the fly instead of like really calculating my moves. I don't know if I like the word calculating. It makes me feel like I'm evil or something, but yeah, I want to give myself more time to prepare for things, really be intentional with the artwork I create and the projects I do. A lot has happened. A lot has happened. I do most of my updates on Instagram, but if you didn't know, I signed with a literary agent, and that is really, really exciting. So I don't want to say too much now, but it is for children's literature. So I'm really, really excited about that. That is a ginormous update. And I think after this pop-up, I'm really going to like get some much needed rest. I will say it's been super hard for me to stick to any sort of schedule. It's been over 2 months now and I still don't have like a set schedule for myself. And when it comes to like me and myself, I am not very disciplined. So I will just do whatever I feel like doing in the moment, and that's like a good and bad thing because sometimes like unplanned things can be good and then something comes out of it, but usually it's just me being like very scatterbrained and I'm like, oh shoot, I have like 10 things on my list but I don't know what to do first type of thing. And if I like just took the time to like schedule and plan it out, I think I would be a lot less stressed, but I have been very stressed. I'm kind of like the sole person running this whole thing and it can be very, very hard. But yeah, other than that, everything is good. So I'm gonna continue doing this and yeah. Watching Wednesday, I tried dressing like her today. Like, I have black jeans on, and then I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, maybe this is kind of giving Gentleman's Pirate from Our Flag Means Death. So I don't know, what do you think? Anyway, the pop-up shop is tomorrow and I'm gonna do like a mock setup in my room just to figure out what I want to do. It's gonna be a little bit different than my Renegade setup, so I'm gonna do that today. Other than that, I am gonna make a matcha first, so let's make a matcha. Alright. This is my table. The star of the show, house. This is kind of like the bones of my display. We have the table, the tablecloth, and then my shelf. At Renegade, I also had this green shelf behind me, but I already set it up for my desk area, so I don't want to take all the stuff out, so I'm not going to use that. I might get a second one. It's from Amazon. By the way, I'm going to link all this stuff in my description. I have an Amazon storefront now. I know, right? While I set the rest up, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Thank you, Skillshare, for continuing to support my channel. I first used Skillshare to learn how to use Procreate in 2020 when I started my art account, and it's so wild to see how much I've grown from then. I'll link the first class I took below in my description. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes on illustration, graphic design, entrepreneurship, and pretty much every creative subject you could think of. I love it because classes are structured into more digestible chunks, so you can really learn at your own pace. Plus, there are thousands of members who are also learning as well. So they're kind of your quote unquote classmates. And it's a perfect place to gain inspo and learn new skills that you could implement into your life. If you're beginning your art journey, I recommend the Procreate class that got me into digital art. And these classes on making a living as an artist and how to build an online presence, they're super informational. Is that a word? Check them out using the link in my description. The first 1,000 people to use the link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Pretty cool? Okay, this looks super bare right now because I didn't want to put all my products on it only to pack them up later. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of my setup now because I'm not sure if I'm going to have time during the pop-up to do one. And I will definitely show you what it looks like with all this stuff on it because this kind of looks a little bit sad because there's nothing on it right now. So let's do a quick tour of how I set everything up. So this setup is a little bit different than my Renegade setup, but I think every show or pop-up I do is going to be a little bit different. So down here is going to be a box of my tote bags. I'm also going to display my tote on the table right here, like hanging off. And then here's also a box for my larger prints. So I'm going to put all of them in this box. People can look through them, and I might get a stool just to elevate it a little bit, but as of now, those will not be on the table. Moving up here, on the table is my stationery, so memo pads, my planner, and then I have this jewelry holder that I use for washi tapes. And then right here, I have this 6-tiered stand. So here I put enamel pins and stickers on this. So it's like, it fits a lot of stuff in a small amount of space, which I like. I'm not gonna keep washi tape in here. I'm gonna put my postcards right here so people can look through it. And then right over here is my payment information, and I'll talk a little bit about payment and stuff in a second. Moving up to what your eye sees are prints. So I have this wire cage. I believe this is like an animal like type cage thing. Big prints up on display here. This might change. I might put my 8x10 prints on display. And then last but not least is the house display. So this usually will have a lot more stuff on it, but up here fits 5x7 prints. I usually put all my bookmarks on here, but this also fits 8x10 prints. And then these two shelves also fit 5x7 prints. So this will be all filled up. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of my display. I'm sure things will change here and there once I get there and like figure out the space. But as of now, I think I'm happy with how this looks. And I want to go in with some sort of a game plan. So my setup will be a lot quicker. So yeah, I'm going to break all this down now, see how much I could pack out today, and then try to finish the rest of the stuff on my to-do list. Actually, I don't really feel like doing this right now, so let's go pick up the prints. Usually I would walk to go pick up the prints, but it's a little cold and sometimes I'm a little scared walking alone by myself, even during the daytime, so I'm gonna ask my brother to drive me. I made these prints specifically for the pop-up tomorrow, and I'm doing like a promotion. If you buy a plant from Stump, you could get a free print from me. I think it's just like a fun little incentive for people to come, and then it also benefits me and Stump. I'm like a little bit nervous that no one is gonna show up. I don't know why, like my friends said they're gonna come, but yeah, since this is a solo pop-up, I have to do all the marketing myself, and I feel like I didn't really do a great job for outreach. I wish I put posters up around the area, like put out flyers in coffee shops, stuff like that. Like the only thing I did was kind of promote it on my Instagram, so hopefully people do show up. I didn't have to pay a fee for it. This is like one of the reasons I love Philadelphia. There are so many supportive small businesses in the area. Actually, let me tell you like kind of how this happened. Stump, by the way, is the plant store, and there are 3 locations here in Philadelphia. One of those locations has a big chalkboard, and they invite artists each month to draw on the chalkboard. So I was supposed to do one of the chalkboard drawings for Stump, and unfortunately that kind of fell through. There was something that happened with the store. Store manager Caroline is like the sweetest lady ever. She asked me if I wanted to do a pop-up instead of doing the chalkboard, and I was like, heck yes, that sounds awesome. I believe they do lots of pop-ups with local artists, so if you're an artist in Philly, definitely reach out to Stump because they're freaking cool and their plants are beautiful. I have many plants from them. Yeah, that's kind of how this thing came to be. I'm slowly embedding myself into the Philadelphia art scene. Creeping in. Hello. If you're a Philly artist, hi. Made this print, so I think I'm just going to sign them. And keep checking off things on my to-do list. Oh my god. Okay, so I restocked the tote bags and I got 200 this time, and this is the first box. There's a second box that I don't feel like opening right now, and the classic nothing fishy to see here at tote bag. So I'm gonna go through these, check if they're okay, and then I'm gonna package a couple for the pop-up, and then I'm gonna pack the pre-orders this weekend. Totes are done. I'm not bringing too many because I don't know, I don't think there's gonna be like a lot of people. And it's close enough that I could just ask someone to go and grab me more. The last thing I think I'm gonna do today is just figure out what I'm bringing and just pack it all up. Again, I don't want to bring like too much stuff, so I might just bring like 15 of each item. I don't know. Car is packed up, we're on our way, and arrival is 1:41, so we are very late because the thing starts at 2, so we'll see if I can set up in 20 minutes.
watercolor, and probably some gouache. I can't remember exactly. I use like so many things. But yeah, this is a little gift for you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
That is so nice.
I'm a ceramicist from Soft Serve Ceramics. Follow me on Instagram, and I mainly make planners and some little cups and espresso mugs.
Hi. So
Kiss.
cute.
Hey, good kiss.
Hello, back home from the pop-up, and I'm here to answer some of your questions. And the pop-up went really well. I got to meet so many of you who are in the Philly area, which was the best thing ever. So thank you to those who came. It was really nice meeting you. So let's just get into it, and please just take my advice with a grain of salt. I'm fairly new to art markets as well, and I've only done 2 so far, so take that as you will. But my advice is based on my personal experience, so disclaimer. First question that a lot of you asked was, how do you find art markets? I follow a lot of accounts that announce local events in my area, so that is one place I find them. I really look through Facebook events a lot. That is a really great resource. So I've been taking notes on events that happen annually in my area. So for next year, I could reach out a couple months in advance and see if they're taking vendors. Second question that a lot of you asked is, how do you apply to art markets and what is the criteria? So applying either looks like reaching out to an events coordinator via email or filling out a form on the event's website. If they're a more established event, they probably will have a vendor application. Some higher volume markets do have a vendor application. For instance, I had to pay $50 to even apply to Renegade, and that could be a loss if you do not get accepted to the event, and it's just something you have to keep in mind. The criteria for each market will vary. What I've seen on forums, they ask for your social media, they ask for pictures of products that you might have, they ask if you do markets and if you've done them before. Don't let it discourage you if you've done 0 markets. There are tons and tons of markets who will probably accept you if you haven't done them before, because you have to start somewhere. And what would you consider a reasonable table fee? For this pop-up this weekend, there was no table fee, which was really awesome. I really appreciate that they do that for artists and are really supportive of artists. But for Renegade, I paid $350 for my table plus that $50 application fee. That price ended up being worth it because I did get a really high number of sales. Leads into my next question. Is it worth it financially? I really want to say that it's up to you and your business what you can do financially. Every small business is different. Every budget is different. For me, that $350, $400 was really worth it for that craft fair in particular, because I did see a higher volume of sales and foot traffic. When you are trying to see if it's worth it financially, definitely think about the time commitment too. Seeing table fees be $20 to $80 for smaller events, but if you are doing those type of events, you have to take in consideration the foot traffic for those events and if those 4 to 6 hours are worth your time or not. If the weather's bad or something else gets in the way, you might not see as many sales, and it might be worth it to spend your time doing something else for your business rather than standing at an art market. So far for me, it has been worth it financially. That might not be the case for every market. I really recommend researching the events you choose to do beforehand, seeing if they are popular in your area, and just making smart decisions with your money and how you want to spend your budget and stuff. How do you prepare for markets and how much inventory do you take? I have this video and my Renegade craft video, which will be right here for you to watch, for you to see my process. I go in detail on how I prepare for those. As for inventory, I kind of gauge how much to take based on the RSVPs for that event. Something that is like a 2-day market, I took all my inventory just in case. It's better to have more than to have no inventory. And then for the pop-up, I knew there wouldn't be like that much traffic into it, so I only brought 15 of each item, and honestly that ended up being like the perfect amount because I did sell a lot of some items but not as much as others, and 15 was kind of like a safe amount. Always bring extra is what I learned. And then what do you store your items in? In my last vlog, you'll see I got these big gray bins. They fit a lot of stuff. I put all my display items in there and any larger items in there, and I got this other clear bucket to put pins and stickers and stuff. I'll link similar ones on my Amazon storefront, and all my display stuff will be linked on there too, so you can just find them on there. How do you find inspo to personalize your stalls? I am an attender of art markets. I love going there, seeing what everyone else is doing, how they display their art. I also look on Pinterest and watch YouTube videos. So that is how I get most of my inspiration. I actually saw this picture right here that gave me inspiration for the shelf I made. So I showed my dad this picture, and then we kind of put our own spin on it based on the shelf that she had in that photo. I think attending art markets yourself is a really great way to see what other people are doing and then see what you like as a shopper, and like really checking out what you gravitate to, what you don't gravitate to, and then you could pull inspiration from all those different sources and put them into your own stall/booth. Items that sell better than others. Does your most popular product change from market versus online? Yeah, I noticed my large prints do really well in person, not so much online because the shipping is a little bit more expensive on those, so I understand why those don't sell as well online. And my totes are still one of my best sellers in person and online. Washi tapes don't really do well in person. A lot of people are confused on what it is, so yeah, it kind of depends, and I'm sure every market will be different. Notice some of my older items do well in person rather than online because I think people are seeing it for the first time in person, whereas online people are like kind of tired of it. They've seen it over and over again. I've seen it over and over again, so I'm like, I don't want to see this anymore. But people who come to my stall for the first time and see my art for the first time really like the old stuff. So I would bring a range of all your new and old products. What does your packaging look like at pop-ups compared to shipping out to customers? You guys know this, I try to keep my online shop packaging as minimal as possible to reduce waste. For in-person, I do want to protect my prints a little bit more since people are touching them and going through them. Like you saw in the beginning of the video, I kind of explained my process there. Packaging will be a little bit different in person versus online, because like think about when you're at a store, you'll probably gravitate to the thing that has really cute packaging rather than the thing that looks like bland and blah and ugly. I would keep in mind how you want to display your items. I'd make my in-person packaging look like you're kind of at a store. I kind of just think about what I see in stores and try to implement that into my in-person market. What have been some lessons you've learned from them? I think you could only be so prepared. Like you could do all this stuff in advance to make sure it runs smoothly, but there will always be things that come up during the event that you'll have to problem solve on the fly. I think you should be okay with that and know that that will probably happen. And I also learned that networking is so important. Working before the event and during the event and after the event. Talk to everybody, be kind to everybody. You never know what and who you might find or who might be there. I recommend talking to people who come up to your booth during the event, talking with all the other artists at the event, making new friends, and yeah, even afterwards, like reaching out to the people who might have came to your booth, reaching out to the event coordinator just to thank them. And then the last question for today, what are your must-haves? And I listed them all out on my laptop. So my must-haves are a rolling cart to make transportation easier, 2, a Square tap reader for Apple Pay and card payments. That was like literally a lifesaver. And if you're doing more events and you're serious about doing events, really recommend that. Having a clear price list so people aren't scared to ask you like how much this thing is good, really great to have. QR codes for payment methods are really good to have. It makes life so much easier for you and the customer. And then also having lots of snacks and water behind the table for you to eat throughout the period, and comfortable shoes because you'll probably be standing most of the time. And those are all my must-haves. And those are all my must-haves and questions for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you got some inspiration if you are doing art markets in the future. Don't forget to check out the Skillshare link in the description if you want to learn something new. And also check out my Patreon if you want to see more exclusive content from me. I will see you all in the next video.